Okay, so today we're gonna dive into a case that's been all over the news.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy stuff, and I'm really glad to have you here to help us unpack all of this.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
It's the murder of Harshita Brella,
it's a tough one.
and you know what makes this even more, I don't know, disturbing is that her husband,
Right.
Pankaj Lamba, is the prime suspect.
Yeah, they're looking for him.
Yeah, and he has just vanished.
Gone.
It seems like he's probably fled the country.
Likely.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's start with just, what we know so far.
Sure. So, this whole thing, it started over in Corbin.
Okay.
Someone close to Harshita,
Yeah.
they had that feeling like something's not right. I can't get a hold of her. And so they contacted the police.
Right.
And that's what kind of kicked off this whole missing person investigation.
And it seems like it escalated pretty quickly
It did, yeah.
from there.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because then her body was discovered in Ilford. Yeah.
Which is, a pretty good distance away.
That's not normal.
Not your typical detail
No.
in a missing persons case.
Raises a lot of questions.
Yeah, that right there raises all kinds of red flags for me.
For sure. It makes you think, what's the connection there?
Right.
Why Ilford? Investigators are going to be looking at things like travel patterns. Did he have connections to Ilford?
Yeah.
Did he have family there? Did he have friends there? Cell phone data,
Oh, yeah, of course.
traffic cameras along the way.
Yeah.
They're trying to build a timeline. So any little clue will help with that.
And speaking of timeline, we know that a domestic violence protection order
DVPO, yeah.
had been issued
Right.
just weeks before Harshita disappeared.
Really? Recently, yeah.
I mean, that can't be a coincidence.
Statistically, that's a big red flag right there.
Right.
Unfortunately, even though these orders, they're meant to protect victims,
Of course.
oftentimes they're only temporary.
And in this case, it was active for just 28 days.
Wow.
And that short window, sometimes it's all it takes for
Yeah.
a situation to turn deadly, especially when you're dealing with someone who is just set on
Bro.
doing harm.
Yeah, that 28-day window.
Yeah.
That is just chilling to think about.
It is. It's scary.
And it makes you wonder about,
Yeah.
the effectiveness of these orders. Are they really?
Right. Are they enough?
Are they enough? And, are abusers trying to kind of,
Take advantage of loophole.
exploit those limitations,
Right.
even if they're under surveillance or if they have these restrictions on them?
And the authorities are often in a difficult position. They're trying to protect the victim, but they also have to respect the legal rights
Sure.
of the accused.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the whole issue of enforcement, even with a DVPO in place.
Right.
You can't monitor someone 24/7. You just can't.
It's impossible.
It's incredibly difficult.
So all of this just kind of adds to the complexity of this case.
It really does.
And what I'm hearing is that, they've got over 60 detectives working on this.
Yeah.
They're doing everything.
They're pulling out all the stops.
They're knocking on doors in Corby.
Yeah.
They're knocking on doors in Ilford.
Oh,
They're,
yeah.
digging through phone records. They're looking at, CCTV footage,
Oh, yeah. All the security footage.
traffic cameras. It's a massive undertaking.
It is. It's a huge investigation. And that's why
Yeah.
the police are really pleading with the public, anyone who has any information,
Right.
to come forward, because sometimes it's the smallest detail that can crack the case wide open.
Like, you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone might have seen something or overheard something.
Right.
And just thought it was nothing.
And it turns out to be the key piece of the puzzle.
It's like those crime shows
I was just thinking,
where,
wow.
they find like a gas station receipt or a parking ticket.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
So
boom,
there's your...
they got their suspect.
Yeah.
But in a case like this, it's not just about catching the perpetrator.
Right.
It's also about understanding
What happened?
what led to this.
Yeah, what was the motive?
What was the motive?
Was this planned?
Yeah.
Or was it a spur of the moment, crime of passion? And then there are questions like, where has he fled to?
Right.
And why choose that specific location?
Right.
There's so many layers to this.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking to think about,
Yeah.
Harshita and the fear she must have felt.
That's awful.
And, now her family and her friends are left with this unimaginable grief.
Unimaginable.
And this loss.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
On so many levels.
It is.
And hopefully by piecing together all the evidence,
Yeah.
From the tiniest clue to the most obvious,
Yeah.
justice will be served.
Yeah. And, for anyone listening out there who might be in a situation where they feel unsafe,
Yes, please.
please reach out for help.
Absolutely.
You know,
Don't suffer in silence.
you don't have to go through this alone.
There are resources available, there are people who care,
Yes.
and there are ways to find safety and support.
Absolutely. Domestic violence is a very, very serious issue.
It is.
And speaking up
Yeah.
is often that first step.
That first step towards breaking free
Yeah.
and getting help.
I think this case, it's a stark reminder of how crucial it is to just pay attention,
Yeah.
to trust your instincts, and to offer support to people who might be vulnerable.
To anyone who seems like they might be struggling.
Yeah. Because what might seem like a small detail to you
Exactly.
could be the missing piece that helps save someone's life.
Absolutely. Could be the key to solving the case and bringing justice
Exactly.
to the victim.
So just, stay vigilant, everybody out there.
Be aware.
Pay attention. And, let's hope that justice is served in this case.
I hope so, too.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
It's been a really insightful conversation.
Appreciate it.
And, we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
See ya.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.